In the previous chapter, we have seen how to build a simple custom business object. Now we will have a look at the business object that is created and what are the other artifacts that are created. So in order to open the business object, what you can do is you can go to this transaction Bob, and in the node custom business object, you can look for your business object and you can double click on it to open the business object. There are a couple of other transactions from where you can have a look at the business object as well. So if you wanted to do some enhancement to your business object, you can go to the transaction Bob X, and in this particular transaction you will be able to modify your business object. Okay, so if you look at the business object, we have created one particular node invoice header, and you can see the data structure that is going to be our persistent structure, and then the transient structure. If you look at the combined structure, it's going to be combination of the key fields, then the persistent structure, and then the transient structure. These are the three things which is going to form your combined structure, and you will be finding a table type for that, and then you will also be finding a database table which will only contain the key combination and the data that you have specified in the persistent structure. So only these values are going to be captured in the backend database table. Then the different node elements that are available for the header. So some of the actions are generated by default. Let's say for example, you can see a couple of queries generated, and let me open it in BOB transaction. You can also use the transaction code BO/BOBF/CONF_UI. Okay, so here you can find the constant interface that is created for the business object. So now if you go inside this constant interface, you could find attributes which is created for each and everything that are auto generated. So if you go inside, you can have a look. So some of the default action that are created for your framework are create, save, update, delete, and then you also have this functionality for lock and unlock, and then you also have the functionality to validate the data. So these are some of the default actions that are created. So when you create a business object, the CRUD operations, that is create, read, update and delete operations, is going to be enabled for you by default, and the actions are going to be already generated. These are framework actions and we cannot edit them. This action, what it does is it's going to persist the data in your database table or read it from there or delete an entry from that, and so on. Then you can also see like different attributes which are created, and you can also see like some GUID which will be represented by some characteristic value which we can use it in our program. So instead of specifying the GUID, we'll be using this particular properties. Okay, so you can basically explore this particular section and see what are the different node elements that are created, what are the associations that are created by default. So right now we have only one node, so we don't have any associations. Okay, So you can just have a look. So in the next chapter we will see how we are going to test the business object that we have just created.